Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White, and with me is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Well, hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm cold.
Cold?
I'm tired of it being cold. Yes.
Yeah, it warmed up a little around here, but it's wet and rainy, and it's one of those days you're just like, I don't want to go outside. I'm just going to plop down and just stay in. Because it's
been so cold that once it finally dipped back to like 33, 34, it actually feels kind of nice outside where I'm like considering just wearing a sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? If you can this time of year, why not? You know.
I hate carrying all the layers.
I mean, I saw people wearing shorts yesterday, and I'm like, you're nuts. You're insane. But, again, it was 60 degrees, so it's just like, this is Tennessee.
That's totally shorts weather. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm surprised that's not light jacket weather, but I don't know. You guys seem to be getting into the 30s and stuff lately too. So
yeah, we have bipolar weather, I like to think, because one minute we're at 20 degrees, the next day we're at 60, and it's just back and forth. So we really can't seem to make up our mind around here. It's insane, and they wonder why people are sick all the time.
Right? I know. Anyway,
so what you been playing?
Let's see this week. Well, I hadn't played a whole lot of Red Dead, so you should be happy about that.
Okay.
I've been playing VR this week.
Yeah, that's right. Would you get an Oculus Rift, wasn't it?
Yeah, a buddy of mine was very kind and helped me get one. And so I've been just kind of thumbing through all the free stuff, not committing to any one particular game. And then I really like the experiences where I don't have to do a whole lot, because I don't really have that big of a play space, unfortunately.
Right.
So I'm kind of limited to games that'll allow me to like point at the ground and move, as opposed to me moving around, or front-facing games. Mm-hmm. So I did download Star Trek Bridge Crew, though, because we were going to give that a go on Sunday. I guess we're going to try to play that. And, we're going to die a lot. That's all I could say. Like, the tutorial it overwhelmed me, because there's like 4 different stations that you can play. And either the captain, or those who are taking care of the engines, or the person who's, doing the directions or guiding the ship. And then one who's, I said the engines already, right? And then the other one who like scans the other ships. And I've already forgotten the like actual names for each position, but, it's kind of cool. So nice. When it's working right, unfortunately, Steam VR had an update, obviously, this week that just kind of pooped the whole thing. And now I can't even get Steam VR to open. So I guess I'm going to have to wait and just do everything through the Oculus store.
Well, I mean, do what you got to do. But you're going to have to tell me how Star Trek Bridge Crew is, because I've wanted to play it for some time. But the only reason I haven't put the money down on it for the PlayStation VR is because I don't have anyone to play with, and I'd rather not play with a bunch of randos. I'd like to play with friends.
Well, they do have a single player mode. I didn't try it because the tutorial was so long that by the time it was done, I was actually ready to go to bed, because there was a lot. There was like 12 different tutorial scenes to go through for each thing. But I mean, it's perfect for my play space because I don't have to move around. You are sitting the entire time. So, I'll let you know after Vaz and I give it a go on, Sunday. It's not crossplay, is it? Like, you couldn't play with us, could you?
Probably not. I have a PlayStation.
But it's through the Ubisoft website. We can see. We should see.
We should try. But I would think, where PlayStation's had their staunch reputation against crossplay, it's
true.
Probably not happening. But you never know. We can try.
We can try, or at least maybe here in the future, yeah. But I got it on sale, so I said, whatever. It was half the price, so I figured I'd give it a go.
I mean, the fact that you said there's a single player, I might look into it a little bit more. I might consider it a lot more now. Because
it might be overwhelming, Like, it seemed like it said right there, like, solo play was one of the buttons in the ship when you first open up the menu. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I don't know if that means you're having, like, is it AI, I think? Because there is some AI characters, or as the captain, you could switch to each thing if you wanted to, which I feel like that would just be way too much to, like, try to man all 4 stations and be the captain.
I'd say maybe one station, like, maybe pick your own station. Because that would make more sense. Mm-hmm. Like, do you want to focus on just being the captain? Do you want to focus on being the engineer, the science officer, whatever?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that would make more sense.
I feel like, though, you might be forced to be the captain, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't try it, so that's to be determined, to be announced at a later date.
Okay. Fair enough. But, again, let me know.
But it's fun.
Good.
What have you been up to?
I'm still enjoying Ratchet & Clank. I really feel like it was the game I needed to kind of refresh and cleanse my palate from a previous game.
From Just Cause 3?
Yeah, because, I mean, again, no, I mean, I did enjoy my time with the game. I spent a lot of time with it, but it was, I needed something different. I needed to change, and this was such a drastic change, not just in characters, but location, everything. So it was a nice, fresh change of pace. And then...
Nice.
I've been kind of messing around. I've been looking at some new games that I want to mess around with. Maybe littler games, smaller indie titles that maybe I missed. There was a sale. It might still be going on right now if people are listening early in the morning. On the PlayStation, they did a flash sale, and it was a bunch of, great titles. So I did grab a few that I was willing to spend a couple of bucks on because some of them were, deep discounts, like 70%. And I was like, okay.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So hopefully in the near future, I can talk about Hollow Knight because I have yet to play that.
I think you'll like that.
I put money down for Hello Neighbor, which I've always thought seemed very interesting to me. What else was there? There was 2 more. And my brain is just forgetting them. I think Gravity Rush 2 was the other one because it was like $5.99, and I loved the first one, so I've always wanted to play the second one. Never got around to it, so I think that was the other one. And then, it was the third. Have you ever heard of the Nonary games?
It sounds familiar, actually.
Like that's the title they're using now to describe the entire trilogy of games. But the first one was like 9 people, 9 puzzles, 9 doors, and I probably didn't say that right. But it was like a interactive novel type thing with puzzles in between, and you had to figure out. It kind of reminded me a lot of. Have you ever heard of Battle-royale? It's a book.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, a book?
Yeah, and it became a movie too. Later on, but I read the book before it became a movie, so I was like obsessed with it. And it's essentially, the concept is you've got 9 people and they are trapped in this facility and they have to find a way out. But to do so, they have to solve these puzzles that in turn find a way to count everything down to 1. And I'm hoping I'm remembering this correctly.
Oh, okay.
And if that means killing someone because they all have a number attached to them, they have to make that decision. And of course, in a group of people, you're going to have to die. No one wants to die. So everyone goes into a panic. Chaos ensues. And it's a great idea. And then they pull it off in the story, and it's really cool. And then there was a second one, which, again, the name Zero Time Dilemma. That actually might be the one that I got. But there was a second one. And then it kind of plays out with new people, but then scatterings of the story prior, like the main character, the guy who's trapped everybody, he just goes by Zero. He orchestrates this, or we assume it's the same guy, but again, it can't be the same guy for logical reasons in the story, you'll find out. But new people, they remember hearing something about this game, then the story unfolds more and more and more, and then it just kind of goes into this bit of chaos. The second game, they actually opened up and used the Schrodinger's cat scenario for a lot of ideas. And I think that's the very first time I actually got exposed to that idea, and I became fascinated with it, so I started researching it more and more and more. And so how that entire thing plays out, it kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but it's still fun. It's still a great story.
Yeah.
And then, of
That
course,
sounds interesting.
this one, I actually got it for the Vita at one point, but I don't play my Vita. And I was just like, I'm never going to get around to playing this, and I want to finish it. So here it is, very, very cheap for the PlayStation 4. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I just get it here, and I'll finish it. I'll actually play it because it'll be there all the time. So hopefully I can finally finish the story. But I would like to go back and play the other ones just for the sake of remembering characters. Because I remember there being characters in this game that I was like, isn't that person dead? And it just, it confused me because it was like, so does this take place at, later date? Does it take place before?
So like they might skip all around.
Yeah, so I'm confused. So I want to kind of go back and play the other games so I can be 100% sure where this fits into the timeline. But again, you go into the second game, the timeline is a little wonky. So
okay,
there's a reason for it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who might want to play it. So
sounds like too much brain power for me, though. I don't know.
It can be a little much, but it's still fun. And the first two, they actually have like a text narrative, whereas the third one they actually do like voice acting. So you actually have characterizations and voice acting that kind of go along with it. So it's much better.
Nice.
So I like that. But
sounds like an interesting concept, though, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I loved what I had, or the time that I spent with it, and I've been a fan of the series, so I would recommend them if you get a chance. The Nonary games, just look that up, and you'll be able to find it for anybody who might want to. But you want to talk some news?
Excellent. What's been going on? A lot of the same, it seems, but let's see here,
I'd say let's go into the big story this week, which would have to be around Bethesda, because they've had a
rough week.
Yeah, it's not just been one thing; it's been several. So I know we've spoken in the past. We have kind of a love-hate relationship. We try to look at the good they do, but then they always take two steps back when they do something stupid like they did this week. And I'm honestly going to say I think I'm done trying to defend them at this point, because no matter what, I appreciate all the good they do, but they're just going to keep screwing up.
They just feel like they're pooping the bed a lot lately.
Yeah. So, first of all, we know how bad Fallout 76 had been received. The reviews.
But I have to say, though, I think I know equal parts people who really love the game and equal parts people who really hate it. So I think it's, just to be fair on that point, I feel like I know a lot of people who really are enjoying it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. You've got, from what we've heard from people who are upset with the game, you've got performance issues, connection issues, lag. There's just so many problems. And then you've got people who are trying to get refunds. Well, somewhere on, I don't know if it was Twitter or maybe it was on their website or wherever, but they seemed to offer a refund, and some players decided to take them up on this offer, and they were met with responses that essentially stated it wasn't going to happen. So, in fact, if you actually look deeper into the refund policy, you'll find what I found to be a very confusing and deceptive statement. And you tell me what you think of this, because I read over it several times. I'm like, what?
Because I didn't read this, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It said, quote, "If you want to download digital content within the 30-day cancellation period, you must agree to waive your cancellation rights."
Wait, so if you want to... Okay, so you purchased it digitally, downloaded it.
Yeah.
And supposedly in 30 days you're allowed to ask for a refund, but you waive the right to it?
If you want to download the content within the 30-day cancellation period.
So you're not allowed to play the game, basically. So you purchased it and you didn't play it, you can get a refund.
It's kind of what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay.
But it's in the fine print. All the fine print that people just gloss over.
Yeah, that everyone
and they don't
skips
read.
Through, yeah.
Right.
It's 2,000 pages, yeah.
So that sounds ridiculous and highly deceptive. And this actually led to a law firm out of D.C. to begin an investigation against Bethesda for deceptive business practices. Now, the firm has actually been reaching out to players on Reddit to try and gather as much information as possible to build a case in hopes of filing a proper lawsuit against them at some point. And if all that wasn't enough to do so, players who purchased the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition were not only blindsided by the poor quality of the game, but also the blatant deception in what they believed they were receiving in this special edition. Because we had advertisements that clearly showed a canvas duffel bag. Yeah. However, inside was a nylon sack that was folded into the game case, and a far cry from what was advertised. So, disgruntled consumers reached out to Bethesda, expressed their frustration. Bethesda's response was essentially the bag shown in the media was a prototype and it was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it. So, that was awful nice. Yeah. And of course, that sent an internet into a frenzy, which led to the second response, where Bethesda essentially offered a very meager amount of Fallout 76 currency to make up for the disappointment. Right. Which, from what I've heard, is essentially like $500 of in-game currency, which does not get you... Which is like
$5 US, roughly, is what I've been told, which apparently isn't enough to actually purchase anything in the game anyway.
No, not anything of substance. And then you actually pointed out, to make matters worse, there was a headline that showcased that the Fallout 76 influencers, whoever these people are, actually got canvas bags.
Yeah. So, and it's a much different style, but yeah.
But they got
and what's
the bag.
But what's the kicker is, like, I'm looking at Bethesda's website, and it still has the canvas bag on there as advertised with the $200 Power Armor Edition.
Yeah, which, I mean, you're clearly still advertising something that doesn't exist. So they're in so much hot water.
Well, then another excuse I heard too is, like, apparently the materials, there wasn't enough materials to make the amount of bags.
Say so.
Exactly. But I don't know. Isn't that what they make? I don't know. How big do you need to make sails for a boat? Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, it should have been cleared up. It should have been, because I mean, and even right now, Bethesda, it's still on your website as the canvas bag. Still to this day, after all of the backlash that's happened, all of the, like, take it down, man. Yeah. Or change it to the nylon bag. Like, I can't believe I'm looking at your website right now and it still shows the canvas bag.
I mean, I'm not one to go out and buy such a expensive
me either, yeah.
thing like that. But, I mean, the bag is a selling point for sure. You look at it and be like, man, that's kind of a nice bag, you know, and the money you're paying.
Nice, sturdy bag.
Yeah. I would pay that, you know, if I really, really wanted it. But, yeah, I would have been pissed if that was me.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I get it.
That's a lot of money you're spending.
Mm-hmm. And you want quality.
I don't know.
So.
And I've even heard a lot of problems with people with the helmet, too, or some of them were different or whatever. Now, I don't know if that's just other people complaining now to add more fuel to the fire or just, you know, because, like, a lot of the reporting I read now, I feel like it's just, it doesn't even need to be said. It's stupid. They're just trying to keep the pitchforks in hands, you know. Oh, yeah. You know, if you're continuously still writing about who got what, this, that, or the other, then come on, guys, just, we know. And let's try to calm the blood pressure of gamers at this point. But, yeah, like, you need to be taking it down, Bethesda. Like, it shouldn't still be on your website as advertised like that.
No, absolutely not.
It does say now, though, it does say on their bag is not correct representation of product. But they just won't take the picture down.
Take the picture down.
So at least they have put that asterisk in there, I guess.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see how long they stay in this hot water, because I can't defend this anymore. You know, despite all the good that they seem to do, they
like I said, their hearts might be in the right place, but their business practices as of late have been really, I don't know. Did they change? Is there somebody new, like at the helm or something? I don't know.
I would say so. I don't know if they've. I know we've spoken in the past about, you know, head changes and stuff like that, but as far as who's in charge right now, I have no idea. So, Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Because we could talk about this all day.
Right. And I feel like everybody's pretty well aware now of what's been happening with it. So.
Yeah. Now, on the other side of the pond, and on another studio, there was a story that surfaced last week that should be surprising, but I feel like as we continue to get more and more stories like this, it's not surprising anymore. It's just like, oh, yeah, I should have assumed. A former Telltale employee by the name of Emily Grace Buck shared some details about certain decisions made by higher-ups in the company regarding female characters. She said if you look through their library of games, you may notice that most female characters were rarely seen from below the waist due to the fact that all adult female character rigs were only made to have high heels. So no sneakers, no nothing like that. Furthermore, all female characters were subject to revisions, pushing them to be either younger, wider, essentially, in her words, quote, more fuckable. So, clear sexism, in their studio mindsets. And I guess it's no different than what we see in Hollywood in their movies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what more to say about that either. It's like for every little bit of progress we make, it always seems like there's still those few that just keep taking it back to a different era. I see it so much all over the place with anything.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we can't do anything right anyway, so.
No. I mean, I think I'm a little shocked by it in just a little sense because we're talking about video game characters.
Right.
Not
well, I mean, that's
people, but I guess at the same time, we see what they do in fighting games and stuff like that when they have these anime, Japanese
always very
anime.
voluptuous, always wearing something super tight, I
mean, why can't we have just a variety of body types? Male and female. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, you can't win on that front, though, either, because you still have that same side that just wants to complain about, ew, why did they make the ugly one? Or why do I gotta, So it's like, I still think you should just do it. Don't get me wrong. Like, let's make a better representation of what real women actually look like and are. And as a woman, it would be nice to be able to play someone I could actually relate to a little bit more. But yeah, you can't really win with that specific group of gamers anyway. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they'll grow up one day and they'll appreciate. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure at some point when I was a teenager, I had that mindset. It was just like, ooh. Right. And the older I've gotten, I realized that there are just certain women that I used to just be like head over heels, like, oh my gosh, I don't find them attractive anymore. I really don't. And I'll look at other women and I'm like, I find her attractive. And then people are like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's something about her that, I don't know, it strikes a chord with me versus these carbon copy women that you see all the time.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll grow up and, they could pass on some knowledge to the younger ones and say, look, this is what a real woman looks like. That's fake.
And it's just going to come with people just doing it, like we said, because eventually once people are more used to being able to see that sort of thing, it starts to break certain habits, starts to shape how you think a little bit more. So it's going to take a while, but we just need the companies and movies and all that kind of stuff just to go, let's just cast what real people look like, and it's more relatable,
Yeah. So, now, the next story I've got going up on a positive note, and we kind of goes back to putting the ball in Bethesda's court, but we're not going to be bashing them. It's more the idea of what's going on, because I thought this was a beautiful story. There's a streaming community that is trying to get something going. Have you ever heard of Shirley Curry?
No.
She's also known as the Gaming Grandma. I don't know if that rings a bell. Now,
no.
She apparently loves Skyrim. She loves Elder Scroll games and stuff like that. That's what she primarily plays on her channel. She's 81 years old. She has a wonderful community. She apparently plays the hell out of the game. She's just a delight.
Nice.
Here recently, we've heard that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a while before it comes out.
Right.
I didn't realize it was going to be this much of a stretch, but apparently it's going to take another 6 years to make. I didn't hear that, but apparently she did. And she said, she wants to play it. She's excited to play it, but she's afraid that she'll be 87, 88 at the time. She's not sure she's going to make it.
Right.
So she's just like, I guess she jokingly made a comment on her stream that, well, this is a nail in my coffin. I guess I'm going to get to play this game. And, her community is just like, oh, that's kind of sad. So they've rallied around, and the community knows they can't make the game any faster.
Right.
It's not going to happen. But what they did suggest, and they've started a petition to see if they can pass this along to Bethesda and get this to happen, is to make Shirley a NPC within the game. So she would be there eternally within the game. And, I think that would be a beautiful thing if they could make that happen. I don't see any reason.
I'll sign this petition. Where is it, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't do this one thing. You're talking about one NPC.
Right.
Somewhere in the game. Put her in there. It's somewhere that these fans can go should she never get to play the game. I hope that she does get to play the game.
For sure.
I think she can, with all this goodwill that's around her and her streaming community, I feel like she's going to have the willpower to continue on and see this game make it. So I hope she does get to play it, but if not, at least this is a way for her fans to come
Even
see
if
her.
She does, do it anyway. I don't know. Do it anyway.
Because, she's such a dedicated fan, so why not,
Right.
Do it for her. Do it for the fans,
Could very easily make her,
saying no would be a really bad move right now.
Right. I think you need some goodwill.
That's right.
They're on your way.
So think about it, Bethesda. Do yourself a favor and don't get any more bad press. All right, let's talk about some quickets. I got quite a few headlines, matter of fact. And where to start? Well, first of all, I don't know if you heard, but the FTC is officially investigating loot boxes now. So
I did not, but okay.
It's underway, so we'll have to see where this goes. Right. I think something's going to happen. I don't know when, I don't know how or what exactly, but I think something's going to come down and there's going to be regulation of some type at some point.
Well, that's fair. Either way, just have some sort of law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other countries are doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that the gaming, the companies, I shouldn't say the gaming world in general, I know that the companies are not going to be too happy about it, but you were slyly putting some stuff out there that's questionable.
They knew what they were doing. Let's be real. Yeah. They know what they're doing. They can't talk their way out of it.
It's making money, and whatever way they can do it, they're going to make money.
And unfortunately, people keep buying them. So
that's like Ubisoft said, they wouldn't be there if you weren't buying them.
Right. It's all your fault, guys.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo is officially ending its Creators Program at the end of the year. I don't know if you were familiar with this. It was a way for, gamers and content creators to create Nintendo videos without them slapping down you can't put that up there. You can't put that up there. Now, there might be more details to it than that. Maybe they're allowing something else. But from what I've heard, they're just ending it, and I heard nothing more than that. So hopefully we won't see more videos coming down because Nintendo's being a jerk. Because I thought it was a good program, at least for these content creators that just they're just showing their love for Nintendo. It's not like they're trying to rip them off. At least
how much money are they really making off of it? Like, come on.
Right, exactly. I've often wondered, I have a few videos on my YouTube channel that I feel they could probably try to come after me to a point because there's...
Well, don't put it out there, man.
Well, I'm waving the red flag, like, come on, bull, come on, charge me. But I'm obviously I'm not big enough for them to take notice, but I've always been curious. It's like all this is a love letter to your game. I'm not trying to rip you off. It's just a love letter. That's it. So I'm curious to see if they would ever take notice and try to take it down. I've always been curious. Telltale's Minecraft story mode is on Netflix now. So you can play the Minecraft story mode on Netflix.
So, but with, I guess, the decision's already made for you.
I don't know. I actually looked it up. I actually wanted to see if you have control, because if they've allowed that, I feel like that kind of opens the door for Netflix to add kind of interactive games, FMVs maybe, into their...
Good point.
So why not? You know,
I mean, probably a lot of people actually already watch it on consoles. Sure. I know I do. Mm-hmm. Half the time, my PS4 is a glorified Netflix player. You know, that's the only way we have TV. I mean, I still play it. Don't at me, people. But that's how I watch all my TV, is through the PlayStation.
Right. So I'm curious. I want to check it out just to see. So, Dead by Daylight's teasing yet another new killer, but I don't think it's anyone famous. And good for them.
They've been doing great at that.
Yeah. I mean,
how many years has it been now?
It's been several. I couldn't tell you how many, but it's been quite a few.
2 or 3 at least.
Saints Row the Third is coming to the Nintendo Switch next year, which I love that game. It's the first one I played, and I was
going to say the third even. All right.
Yeah. See, I never played 1 or 2, but I heard 3 is where they really kind of amped it up and just said, let's just go balls to the wall and just do insanity. And that's what I loved about it. It was just like pure insanity. It's like GTA on crack. It's like, we're taking that, but
they were fun.
Yeah.
They're fun games. I mean, I haven't played all of them myself, but
3 and 4 are the 2 that I would recommend, because I feel like you can...
I even liked Get Out of Hell. Yeah. I know people,
I'd say the only reason I don't...
For what it was. Not as good as the rest, but it was fun, you know?
I mean, yeah, for what it was all right, but I think what I preferred with 3 and 4 was I'm a sucker for character creation. So I got to create my character, and not only that, I got to give him his own voice. Yeah. And that to me was just like, he can be whoever I want him to be. And they give you a list of voices. I'm like, oh my God, he can sound like anyone. And I find the voice that I just feel like represents this character perfectly. And that just excited me to no end. And then you go to Get Out of Hell. If you've played, I think 4, and you did your character creation, it would roll over to that. But but it disappointed me, because not only did you not get to play that character, but he was voiced by one character or one actor. I think it was just Nolan North. So I felt like I stepped into like that weird world where the voice actors change in a cartoon, and you're just like, man,
we're supposed to accept that it's the same character.
Yeah, it's like, that's not my character. That's not the voice that comes out of him.
Who recast this? I didn't approve this. Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed. But no, I love those 2 games. I hope they'll come back around and make a 5. I don't care how they do it. Just go back to what worked, and then just do something insane. Konami. I was about to say Konami. Like we used to say,
Conan or something.
Konami.
What's going on?
No, Konami.
Konami.
Konami has actually filed new trademarks for Metal Gear. So, woo. I don't know what they are. And
I was just like,
after the Survive debacle, I don't think anyone's excited right now. Guacamelee 2 is coming to the Switch and Xbox One, and there will be new DLC for the game coming soon.
Sweet.
So I hope it's just
great games.
New levels or something like that, new costumes and such. I'm excited. The Arkham Collection was announced, which combines Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight all into one package, and it has a pre-order price of $60.
That's not bad.
If you're getting,
that's fair.
I feel like if you're getting all the content, like all the DLC and everything, sure. I mean, that's a solid price.
Oh, we don't know if that's the case.
I didn't catch that. I didn't see if that was the case. But if it's everything combined, I mean, that's $20 a pop with all the DLC. That's a steal.
Right.
I mean, Arkham City, not Arkham City, Arkham Knight. I know it was at least $100 worth of game DLC if you wanted all the bonus stuff. I spent money on it. But I loved the game. I loved what I got. I just don't know if I'd put the money back down for this because I
have a really hard time repurchasing games I already own, regardless.
I mean, with I think it was Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I think I went back and got those for the PlayStation 4 because I played them on. No, I played City on the Wii or the Wii U, and then I bought it for the PlayStation 3 to play it again, properly, I guess. And I just don't. I played it twice. I just don't feel like I'll put the money down for a third time. It was fun.
No,
but
if you've never played, well, then here's a nice little bundle for you. Then
exactly.
Yeah.
Fortnite account mergers are not happening until next year sometime. So anybody who was looking to merge all their accounts into one go is going to have to wait a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
I figured there's a reason why you created separate accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it the PlayStation
probably
crossplay debacle? Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing. Also, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it is said that it will never be added to the series timeline. You know how they have like this breakdown? Have you seen the timeline, how that works?
I've not.
Okay, so there was a book that came out that was like the history of The Legend of Zelda, and it talks about all the games that were released at that time, and I think up to Skyward Sword, but I think they only touched on it ever so briefly because I don't think the game was officially out at the time. So you see this timeline, and it starts with... don't recall.
Oh, okay.
I think somewhere in there it was like Skyward Sword, kind of goes down the list, and it's a straight timeline. Then when you hit Ocarina of Time, it branches off into 3 separate timelines. So it would be the timeline whether or not Link was a kid and stayed a kid and everything was fine, and where that goes. Link is an adult and he defeated Ganon, and then where that timeline goes, and then Link is an adult, he didn't defeat Ganon, and then he reigned supreme throughout Hyrule. So you have 3 diverging timelines because of this time ripple, and then all the games that fit into that timeline because of that. But they say this game is not going to wind up in the timeline because, and I feel like this is kind of a cop-out, it would create a damage to the timeline because it restricts the game's ability to give the player the use of their imagination as to what actually happened. I don't know. I mean, someone who's played the game would have to explain this to me. Apparently, throughout the entire game, there are scatterings and hints as to what's happened. But yet nothing is set in stone to say, this is exactly where this fits into the timeline. So players are using their imaginations to figure out the puzzle and say, this is where this, okay, I see where this is going. So they don't want to restrict it within the timeline to ruin players' thoughts about where it is within the timeline. They like the idea that they're using their imagination to figure it out. And they'd like to allow that. So, I mean, sure,
Fair enough, I guess.
I guess, yeah. So it's wherever you want it to be in the timeline. It's a floating game.
So it's just an asterisk.
Mm-hmm. The book Console Wars, which I've never read, but it's about the Nintendo Sega fight in the 80s and 90s where they were battling it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's being adapted into a television series. So I'm kind of
like
curious.
A documentary type thing?
The way it made it sound like an actual TV show, like a drama series or something.
Like they did with the whole Facebook guy. Like it's an actual, they cast it, they're pretending like you're watching it happen. I gotcha. Okay.
So,
all right. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know how, I'm assuming this is a mini-series, something that's not going to stretch for years at a time, but I'm curious regardless. I'd like to see how they adapt it. And finally, the Game Awards, which happens this Thursday on December 6th, is supposedly going to feature at least 10 new video game announcements.
I saw that, yeah.
So,
That's kind of exciting, though.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move into Truth or Trash, and you're going to tell me what you think about a few of these that I have. Because the very first one that I had to scribble out because it was officially announced yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. Rocksteady said we're not making a Superman game. So that was going to be one of our bits, but they squashed it. So
and they said they're not making an announcement at all, right?
Like, yeah, they're not making Superman. They're not going to be there. It's not happening. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think they tweeted that. They're like, we love you, but no, none of this is happening. Sorry, JK, love you.
I want someone to make a decent Superman game. It can be done. We've discussed it at length here. All right, so
listen to the show, people. We've given you ideas.
Plenty. All right, so here's the first one. Truth or Trash. At the Game Awards, Obsidian will announce BioShock 4.
Ooh. I know they're supposed to have a presence there, right?
Mm-hmm. But do you think...
I want it to be true, but I don't know. Infinite kind of disappointed me also, so I'm a little on the fence whether I really want this or not.
I mean, I'm going to keep track of this because we're going to get proof.
We're going to get proof very soon. Okay, I'm going to say... They just did Pillars of Eternity and all. I'm going to say truth. I'm going to say truth.
Okay.
It's been long enough, so it's possible.
Truth it is. All right. Now, the next one is that BioWare will announce a brand new Dragon Age game.
Ooh, see, another one I would want to be true, but as long as they don't do the Dragon Age 2 bull crap that they did. But they did go back to the roots a little bit on the last one. Ooh. Oh man, you're breaking my heart here. This is too hard.
It's all
true, because again, I want it to be true, because I'm a big fan of the Dragon Age games, with the exception of 2. I don't put it in the timeline. I just pretend it didn't happen.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we got 2 trues for the Game Awards. Now I've got one more for the Game Awards, but maybe you might not be excited about this, but something's going to happen. So this is what I'm going to pitch to you. The first trailer for Avengers 4 will be seen at the Game Awards.
Oh, this is tough.
Now, the reason this is being brought up is that the Russo brothers, the director of said movie, are going to be there. But they could be announcing something else, but what else would anyone want to see?
Well, yeah. I'm going to say truth on that, too.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, one of those is bound to be right?
I mean, you'd hope so.
One of my things should be right.
All right, so now the next 3 that I have are not Game Award related, but you can take them as you will. Well, actually, you know what? No, this one, there is one other one that could be Game Award related, because I feel like we're going to find out at the Game Awards. So I'll go ahead and pitch this to you. Death Stranding will release in June 2019.
See, I've heard some rumors going around about this, because good old Walmart Canada apparently might have either trolled us or accidentally leaked it or whatever. I'm going to say trash. I feel like we'll get a window.
Okay.
Like, it'll say for sure, like, late 2019 or quarter 3 or something. Or, 2019, you know. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be June.
Okay.
I feel like it's been long enough, but
we will get an announcement. I have heard that.
I feel like
some sort.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we'll get a window.
All right. The next 2 are not Game Award related. So the first one is Sega is developing a mini Dreamcast.
True.
I
feel like everybody wants to jump on that bandwagon.
I mean, the only question I have is what games...
But Dreamcast would be good, though, right? Because it had a lot of good games. I didn't have it, but I feel like everybody loved it. Or am I thinking of the wrong one?
No, I mean, you might. But I just never jumped on it either, so I'm wondering what games.
I would have to look up what came out on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I feel like I know people that were like huge fans of the Dreamcast out of all of the Sega consoles.
I mean, I've heard that too, but I honestly don't know of a game on the Dreamcast that I was like, yep, that's the one that defines it.
Yeah. I didn't own one, so I'll be fair. I had a Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Like, I never really went all into the Sega fandom, so I would be the wrong person to ask, like, what came out what year, what generation of console, and so on.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And finally, and this is a big one now, the PlayStation 5 will forego the disc format in favor of a new cartridge format.
Back to cartridges? I'm going to say trash.
Okay.
I would think they're going to go disc-less and everything downloadable before cartridge. I can't imagine why you'd go back to a cartridge unless there's some new science-y stuff for space that it just creates so much more that I've just not discovered yet or read about.
I mean, Nintendo hasn't given them up yet. They seem to always bounce back to them.
Yeah, but they don't. Their stuff's not as powerful.
It's true, but
you know, like they're
we'll
see. I'll eat my words. I'll be very impressed.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll be very impressed or disappointed. I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna say false though. Trash.
Okay, trash. Fine. All right. So we've got them. We got it all here. You gave me 4 truths and 2 trash, and all the truths are for the Game Awards.
Yeah, and all of them just because I want them to be true.
All right. So let's talk about some weird news.
Weird news.
I got one little bit here because I didn't think I was going to have any, and then Wendys, man, they know how to swoop in and save the day. So
yeah, all you sent me was that line, like Wendy saved the day, and I'm like, well, I'll wait and see what we're talking about here.
All right, so whoever.
And I feel bad for Todd; he's not here. We didn't mention it. So is there sex in it?
No, there's not.
Okay,
but
that was for you, man.
It's talking about not just Wendys, but everyone's favorite game, Fortnite. Now, I'm sure we've all seen whoever manages Wendy's Twitter account, they need to be a comedy writer, whoever this person is, because they are a gold mine of one-liners and just, these sharp-witted jabs. And I love all the stuff that I read that they do. It's funny. So whoever this guy, girl, person, whoever it is, they're amazing. Now, last week...
Hat nod.
Yeah. Last week, they took aim at not another restaurant like they normally do, but Fortnite. There's a new event being promoted within the game, and it said, and I'm just going to read what they kind of put out there so you can kind of get an idea. 1 wall, 2 entries, the food fight has begun. Build your base, wait for the barrier to drop, and battle it out in this new limited time mode. Claim your preferred team on our social channels, Team Burger or Team Pizza. So you got the little hashtags, and you can tag them in Twitter and whatnot and claim your team. Now, Wendys took this announcement as an opportunity to throw shade at one of the game's establishments, Der Burger. I had to look this up. This is how much I don't know.
So it's in Fortnite?
Anything. Yeah, because I was like, the hell is Der Burger? It just sounded like a mocking thing, like Der Burger. And I was like, okay, so are they making fun of something in the game and just calling it Der Burger? But no, there's something in the game called Der Burger. So I was like, okay. So it's a game thing that I just don't know. But anyway, they tweeted, "We are never joining hashtag Team Burger because Der Burger is full of freezers and we don't clown around with frozen beef. So now we'll officially declare hashtag Team Pizza and start the real fight, the war on frozen beef."
Ah, nice.
And then adding to that, they apparently have a Twitch channel, which I didn't know.
Wendys does?
Twitch.tv/Wendys or something to that effect. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They got on, they announced dropping in Greasy and doing something about these freezers, and then someone was playing on Twitch on their channel and proceeded to demolish the Team Burger side of the event.
Well, all right then. That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know the fast food chains were doing Twitch now, too.
I didn't know either, but just look it up, people. Maybe there's a VOD. Well,
Good job. Good job.
So that was fun, right? Who knew?
The way to reach the young crowd, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Are you ready to play?
I'd buy that for $1.
Or more.
So I've got two items here. One I feel like is more for me, but maybe I'm kind of hoping that I can convince you. And the other one is definitely for you. Absolutely,
right.
Definitely for you. So I've been trying to get you into the Ace Attorney games, the series and stuff like that.
I played the one.
Next year, we're going to see the full release of the first 3 games on the console, which I'm thrilled about. You should be thrilled about because you get to play it on your PlayStation. I think they're even coming out on PC, so you can play it there.
Perfect. Yes.
And they're going to be glossed up and looking pretty and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play those games yet again. I've played them several times. I'll do it again. There's a new game coming out called Dual Destinies that's also coming out. I'm hoping that will make its way to consoles because I don't have a working 3DS anymore, and I just don't feel like putting money down anymore.
Sure.
Because my last decent one was a special edition Zelda version 3DS, and it was just beautiful, and I loved it, and I lost it.
Aww.
I lost it because I took it to an event, like one of those PlayStation Experience events. I had it in my pocket because you have that feature where you can walk around and you meet people. I don't see. It's been so long, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. But it's like anyone you pass that has that DS, you'll meet each other in the game world that they've created. So I took it there because I knew I'd hit tons of people. I'm not going to be the only one that's doing that, and it fell out of my pocket, and someone stole it because the theater said we haven't seen it. So someone found it, someone took it. So
sure, they did, yeah.
And so finally I broke down and bought a less fancier version, and then it got broke somehow. Like I opened it up one day and the screen was shattered, and I'm like, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it again.
Oh, no. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened?
Sorry. My monitor went to sleep, and I got nervous for a second. I was losing power. I'm like, what? Sorry, people who are listening. I got nervous.
Yeah, we're leaving that in. That was fun. Okay, so anyway, we got Phoenix Wright games coming out, all this other stuff. If all that excites you, I'm going to pull out one more item, the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destiny statue. It's an extremely detailed 3D recreation of everyone's favorite attorney, crafted in resin and beautifully painted in a way that wonderfully captures the theme and style from the courtroom. The statue comes in 3 unique styles, giving you options to find the one that's right for you. Now, we have the first 2 editions. I actually had to look this up because I thought, that doesn't seem right. Your first 2 editions are equally priced, which I thought was strange. Because your standard edition just is the statue, and it comes with an authentication card. So you know that it's properly made. Then you have an exclusive edition, which comes with the authentication. That word is struggling. Authentication
it's
card.
Hard.
It comes with the card. And also comes with 2 interchangeable head sculpts, which is a normal-looking, stern face, and then the iconic shouting face, where he's pointing his finger.
Yeah.
Then you have the definitive edition, which has an additionally large base that features the defense bench behind him. Also comes with the interchangeable heads, plus 2 speech bubbles featuring his famous catchphrases, "Objection" and "Take that." And also comes with the card. So I feel like you'd pay a little extra for the exclusive, but you're paying equal for the standard, so why not just get the exclusive? That's just me.
Okay. Yeah.
But how much would you be willing to pay?
How big are they? Did you say?
I didn't say, and I didn't jot that down, but they looked pretty, let's say about a foot tall.
Like Barbie doll size?
Maybe a little bigger. I mean, it's a statue.
Okay.
It's like you see the statues in the GameStops and everything.
Oh, yeah. Like, okay.
Use that as a frame of reference.
Honestly, though, like, I really like the games, but the audience for me is just, I'm thinking of clutter in my life. But as a collector, I would say $20 per. but I feel like it's probably more.
Yeah, these are
your head at me.
well designed, handcrafted, beautiful design statues. Those
are they like pewter?
No, resin.
Like heavy resin. Oh. $50?
Okay, I'm just going to stop you. So,
now?
If you want the standard or the exclusive edition, you're going to have to pay $229. Okay.
Per statue?
Yeah.
You can't see it at home, but I just made a really like, what face?
And then if you want the definitive statue, it's going to cost you $299. So,
okay.
It's high quality.
Well, for a collector, okay.
I mean, if you look at these statues, they look pretty awesome. So, I mean, but that's just me. I'm a fan.
Right. I mean, I could appreciate good art, but I don't know if I could justify that.
Let me justify it for you a little bit more, because these statues are limited edition with only 1,000 units being made.
Okay. So hopefully in 10 years it could turn a profit is what you're trying to say.
Probably. Now, they're available for pre-order right now if this interests you at all. And they will not ship. This is key. They will not ship until the fourth quarter of next year. So.
Oh, so they're still making them. Okay.
Yeah. So, see? Well.
Are they individually numbered?
Yes. That's where you get the authentication card.
Got it. All right.
So you don't want it. I kind of want it. So anyone wants to get me a Christmas present for next year, go ahead and pre-order now.
There you go.
Okay. Now, again, this one, I think you'd kind of be interested in. Maybe there might be some things where you're just like, because you might have to try it out first. You never know. You're a gamer. I know you love coffee. Have you ever wanted to mesh these things together?
Okay, I kind of do already, but sure, I want to see where you're going with this.
Okay. How about a coffee made for gamers? Okay. Player One Coffee shares this vision and hopes to bring this to the world by producing premium coffee blends roasted by gamers for gamers. Player One Coffee packs the punch to give you the mental acuity you need to rise against any virtual challenge. Other brands are lacking in this regard, a fact that stems from how they view gaming. Other brands will tell you that playing video games is the epitome of laziness, but gamers know better. Competitive online games require skills honed through dedication and practice, an intense level of focus, and an insatiable desire to be the best. Other coffee brands refuse to acknowledge these facts, dooming them to rely on luck to beat Player One Coffee's clear edge in skill. So the next time you're going over your items to enter a dungeon, rescue a princess, or game with some friends, you know what type of coffee should be in your inventory.
All right.
So you've got...
It's supposed to make me all focused and
You're
sharp.
You're all in it. So
I should
have looked up about how big these bags are. I'm going to assume
they're probably small.
About the size that you get with the Dunkin' and the Starbucks at the stores and
like
stuff.
Like a pound or something like that.
So we'll assume that's what the size is, because I can't imagine it's going to be any bigger or smaller. Could be smaller. We don't know.
Yeah.
But you've got four types. Sorry. 4 types. You can tell me whichever one you would prefer, and then you need to tell me what you're going to pay. They're all the same price.
Okay.
First, you have the first-person smoother light roast.
Okay.
Then you have God's Gift to Gamers medium roast. Then you have the Overclocked Omen dark roast. And then finally, the Leroy Jenkins extra caffeine roast.
The one that, like, it could cause a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ooh. Well, I'm just going to take the light roast out because I like to taste the coffee. I'm just going to assume it's going to taste weaker because that's all I have to go on is just how I think about it. I would say because I've seen some specialty coffees like this before that even totes the like hyper caffeine. I would not be surprised if they're like $25-$30 a bag.
Well, you're in luck. Because
am I?
Only $14.99.
Ooh, okay. Now we're assuming this is a pound. That seems like a good deal. If it's like 5 ounces of it or something.
That would be
well,
bullshit.
it still would be worth a one time just to see if it's any good.
Yeah,
that would
maybe.
be my only concern was like, how good is it?
How good is it? Because, I've purchased some of the high dollar stuff.
Did it say what kind of beans it was?
They didn't. They just said it was premium coffee.
Okay.
So, I mean, I read you their whole spiel.
Mm-hmm. Because I just is it Colombian coffee? Is it,
we'd hope they're going for the best of the best. So,
right.
I'd say, so are we getting you the overclocked Omen Dark Roast?
I would say at least the third one, yeah. The fourth one, I mean, that might be a little crazy.
Yeah,
but, it depends on... Yeah, it depends on the amount of caffeine and what they consider. Because trust me, my blood, I could probably just drain it, re-drink it, and get another buzz. Like I pretty much keep it a nice steady flow all day long. But it would be interesting if I ever got a caffeine buzz again.
Yeah. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I would go with the third one to start probably. Because I know I'm at least woman enough to go that high. Right.
All right, so keep your eyes open. These may be in stores. They didn't say that you could only order them online, so you may run across them in your local grocery. Who knows?
Or at your GameStop.
Or at your game.
If they're still there.
I would probably say GameStop seems more likely. They sell snacks and stuff like that, so I could see them selling this. So, all right. Well, good. Coffee. Gamer coffee.
I would try it.
All right, let me do some release dates real quick.
Okie doke.
I say real quick, there's a list. Oh, boy. All right, first up, on December 3rd, we have Demetrios, The Big Cynical Adventure for the Nintendo Switch. Then December 4th, we have a list. Oh, my God, do we have a list?
December 4th's the day, huh?
It is. First of all, the big game that's coming out that day is Just Cause 4 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
I thought you'd be excited.
I will be playing it probably next year. Whenever
I know
get
somebody
around.
who got early access to it and was playing it today.
No
They
kidding.
didn't start before we started recording, but yeah. I'll show you the channel if you want to peek at it.
I need a break right now, but I do want to play it. It does look fun. Then we also have DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Legacy of the First Blade for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Gear Club Unlimited 2, for Nintendo Switch. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Gwent, the Witcher card game for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Smash Hit Plunder for PSVR. Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Persona 3, Dancing in the Moonlight for PlayStation 4 and PSVR. Persona 5, Dancing in the Starlight
for VR.
For PlayStation 4 and PSVR.
Okay.
Override Mech City Brawl for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Subnautica for PlayStation 4. Toki Remake for Nintendo Switch. Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. Thronebreaker The Witcher Tales for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Here's a list, man. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to condense these. The Altair Arland Series Deluxe Pack, which comes with The Apprentice of Arland, The Adventure of Arland, and The Alchemist of Arland. There's a whole series, so they're all coming together. They're all coming to the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. If you knew what I was talking about, you got it.
Go get it.
Okay. And then we have Pinball Effects 3, Williams Pinball Volume 2 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The Council Episode 5, Checkmate for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Whew. And then on December 5th, we have Energy Cycle Edge for Nintendo Switch. On December 6th, we have Battle Princess Madeline for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and PlayStation Vita, which that looked kind of fun. I think I'd like to check that out. The Last Remnant Remastered for PlayStation 4. Rival Mega Gun for Nintendo Switch. That's a weird word. Carcassonne for Nintendo Switch. I'm going to assume I said it right. Carcassonne. It looks like it's spelled, so I assume I said it right. Beholder Complete Edition for Nintendo Switch. Long Story, a dating game for the real world for Nintendo Switch. Then on December 7th, we have two big releases. The biggest of all releases on December 7th is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Nintendo Switch.
We're going to see that.
Then if that's not your bag, you can get PUBG for PlayStation 4. If you're one of those people waiting.
Why did you do that on the same day, PUBG? Come on now.
No kidding.
Come on now.
They did.
Who's your PR guy?
They were just like, if they want to play it, they'll be there. Then we also have Katamari Damacy Reroll for Nintendo Switch and PC. Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And the Sega Genesis Classics Collection for Nintendo Switch. Now we got the Xbox games with gold for December 2018. These are all Xbox One compatible, with 2 being 360 compatible. Dragon Age 2 will release on December 1st through the 15th. It's also for the 360. Yeah, you were just dogging that.
I just got done dogging it. Don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Well, they don't have to buy it. Just don't play it.
Don't do it.
Then we have Cube 2 from December 1st through the 31st. Never Alone, which is a fantastic game. If you've never played it, go play that game. It's available from December 16th through January 15th. Then Mercenaries Playground of Destruction through December 16th through the 31st, also 360 compatible. Then on the PlayStation side of things, for December, the PlayStation Plus games, we have for the PlayStation 4, Soma and Onrush. I feel like I've heard of Soma before.
Oh yeah,
it
was pretty popular there for a while. I haven't tried it yet. I feel like I have it on PC.
Is it a horror game?
Kinda. And I might be confusing it with something else because I thought it was like a real-time strategy type horror. I feel like Mammoth played it.
Okay, maybe that's where I'm remembering it from.
Yeah, like you can create your own characters and send them in, kind of like a... I could be totally talking about a different game, too.
Memo, if you're listening, tell us.
Help us out, man.
I don't know.
Put it in the comments.
PlayStation 3, there's Saradin and Steins Gate. I have no idea what those are. And then for the Vita, one in particular I'm actually kind of looking forward to, but I'm not sure if they're both cross-buy with PlayStation 4, but I'm hoping they are. For the Vita, we have Papers, Please, which I've always wanted to play. And then
it's actually a pretty fun game.
It looked fun. And then also Iconoclast, which sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you what it's about. So
no.
All right, let's play a game of...
What the hell did you just say?
What the hell did you just say?
I think I've got a decent little list here. I think I've got a few interesting bits for you. Where to begin? All right, let's start with Whimsical Quest.
Whimsical Quest. So it is the story of a very posh young gentleman who runs around in a top hat and a monocle.
Okay.
And he's very proper and British. And as he's going through the world, the story basically is about how he's a creator, a painter, a sculptor, and everything he just does is on a whim. It's a very whimsical world. So as he's walking through the street, you see something that, this needs to be whimsied. And he'll, sculpt it right there on the spot or paint it on the wall. Yeah, that's pretty much it until he finds the love of his life and they get married and then the game's over.
All right, then.
In a very whimsical way.
All right, this next one, the only reason I'm giving it to you is because the last word is a challenge, and I feel like a challenge, and I'm going to do it.
You feel like in the morning, I'm up for that. Okay.
Simpson Tuning Work Stacked. That's all one word.
Simpson Tuning Work Stacked?
Stat. Yeah, like Tuning
Holy
Work
crap.
Stat. Like that's his last name.
Okay. So it is he works in a manufacturing plant, so it's a simulator. And so he's just making he runs the robots that makes the car parts or the pieces for your water heaters or things like that. So, as these things are coming down the surveyor belt, you control Simpson, whatever his last name is. And, you make sure that you're piecing all of it together properly, and then at the end of your workday, you get graded on the quality of the pieces that you put together and that you grabbed the proper pieces as was coming down. Because sometimes they're going to throw you the absolute wrong pieces down the conveyor belt, and as the game picks up in speed, you know, it's all about that timing and acuity. And if you were drinking that Player One coffee, you'd be like right on it, man.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got it all figured out.
I mean, I think that one actually would be pretty fun. People would buy that off of like Big Fish Games or something like that.
Now, I'm going to give you this one just so you can make Todd happy, since he's not here. Hentai University 2 biology course.
So this is a VR dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And obviously, you know, you're playing Todd, and you're going back to school, and you're taking a biology class, obviously. And the whole point of the game is to figure out how you're going to date your teacher. And of course, she's very good-looking young lady, you know. And she will either deny you or accept your advances depending on just how smooth you were with the choices that you're given. Right. And then there's some Easter eggs in there that we really can't say because it's not safe for work.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
All right. This one's an interesting one. Gachi-muchi manly puzzle.
Gachi-muchi manly puzzle. Well, I don't know what gachi-muchi even means.
Don't know either.
So we're just going to say, what's that guy? Swanson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's him. And he is creating... He's the manly dude, right? With the beard and the flannel. Okay, yeah, cool. I just wanted to make sure I was talking about the same guy. And so he does a lot of woodworking, which you may or may not know. And so you're playing him as you're picking out the proper types of wood that you would carve to make these manly butch puzzles, you know, of garages or muscle cars, you know, because like eventually they'll get painted and then you'll have the puzzle pieces and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so you got to pick out, is it mahogany is best for this one, or cedar, or I don't know the rest of my woods, but that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And he tells you in his manly way whether you picked the right one and carved it properly. Because, I mean, there's like a tool that you'll have to eventually follow along the line to get the puzzle piece and stuff like that as your little mini games.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then Gachi-muchi is just the place and where you live and this happens.
Sure. I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, that works. All right, I got two more for you.
Okay.
First one is Tippy Tree.
Tippy Tree. I think it's you're one of the people who build those like wacky inflatable arm people, but in this case it's actually trees for like very specific parties. And the whole point is to build these things, and you get scored on how well they hold up in inclement weather outside of these storefronts in LA, obviously, because they're all palm trees. Because that's pretty much like LA or Florida or something like that would have these type of trees at their storefronts. And you have to build them, properly inflate them, and you get graded on whether a hurricane comes through and it's still held up, or things of that, I don't know, typhoons, whatever would happen in other parts of the world that would have these trees at their storefront.
Sure. Okay.
It's not a good game.
No, not at all. All right, and finally, Block Pooper 9.
Block Pooper 9? So it's the 9th game in the series of Block Pooper. And you play a child who is very gross, you know, like as most kids are, very sticky, you know. Let's say you're playing a 2-year-old, and obviously they poop a lot, and that's just like a thing that actually is just happening as a fun thing, like in Rick and Morty, how he's always belching. It has nothing to really do with the story. It's just a quirk that the kid has.
Sure.
And you're playing where you have to put the shapes in the little ball. And so as you get the proper blocks, it's like for ages 3 to 6 to teach you your shapes and all that kind of stuff. And he's just a gross kid that poops a lot. That's just the character. And in this 9th iteration, you actually get a wall of different shapes, and you have to hurry up and get it in there by color and by shape.
I'm not playing this, but all right.
I mean, it's for kids.
That's right.
You're not supposed to want to.
It's to teach them things.
Right. I actually picked out 2 for you.
Oh, did you now?
Hey, guys, podcast that listen to the audio. I don't know if he's done this before.
Not on
but
this version. Yeah.
I was going to say, I actually looked up a couple of them.
Okay. I'm eager.
See. I'm eager to hear it. Yeah. So the first one I picked up is A Bastard's Tale.
A Bastard's Tale. So this is about a kid who lost his father, and he doesn't know where he lives, or at least where he is. He's got amnesia, okay?
Amnesia.
And all he knows is that his mom goes around saying, that bastard left me, so he wants to know who this bastard is. So he's on a quest to go find out why his dad's a bastard, and why he's a bastard too. They're both bastards, and they have to bond over this. He's like, Mom calls you a bastard, but I'm the bastard. So it's a touching tale of bastards.
And it's like he just grew up thinking that was his last name.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't understand. I love it. Let's see. Ooh, there's so many. Audio Surf.
Audio Surf. Okay, so this is about a guy, a surfer named Dud, who went out to the beach one day, and he took some acid and then decided to go surf. But then he started hearing music within the waves, so he started surfing with the music and riding the audio waves. And you
nice.
have to manage his surf and try to gain points on how well you can ride the audio wave. But it's also like one of those music beat, rhythm games. And you have to make sure that you're following the rhythm of the waves.
Oh, I would actually play that. I would play that.
Yeah.
Because I like the trippy little world there, Okay, just one more.
Okay.
Let's see. A Chair in a Room, green water.
Chair in a Room, green water. So this story about this chair in a room is taking place in a mental hospital called Greenwater. And inside this, facility, there sits a chair in a room. And the chair actually is cognizant of everything going on around it. So it's trying to figure out why he's a chair in a room. And he has to come to grips with accepting that he is a chair in a room, and this is his life. But he wants more out of life. He doesn't just want to be a chair in a room. He wants to be a chair in a hallway. He wants to be a chair in a kitchen. But as it stands now, he is a chair in a room. And what is he going to do to change his life? It's a very deep story.
Yeah, I was going to say, and all of the things he probably hears.
Yeah.
Being in that hospital, too.
The asses that sit on him. I mean, the horror stories,
Probably a ton. Excellent. Well, I didn't want to keep it going too long, so I just picked out a couple.
Well,
but
thank you.
It's fun. It's fun to get to see you do it too once in a while.
No, I love it. I love it. It keeps me sharp.
Right? Keep that object work going in the brain.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our headliner, our review of the week. Look, I've said it many times on this show before. I love, huge fan of Cyanide and Happiness. The comics, the shows, I've watched a show on Verve or VRV, however you say it. I say Verve. I don't know about
Verve
you.
sounds
good. Their shorts on YouTube infrequent as they are now because of the whole YouTube debacle where they get demonetized and all that stuff. I hate that they've had to go through that, but I still support them there. I'd love to support them in many other ways. I even helped fund their Freakpocalypse game. You know, I kickstarted that because I believed in it, and because of that, I was allowed into the alpha for Rapture Rejects and netted me a free copy of the game. So there's my little disclaimer for, just so you know.
Just so you know, yep.
Needless to say, I'm all in for what they're doing. So that being said, when Rapture Rejects was announced, I was like, oh, cool, another game. I'll check it out. I'm into it. But then I found out that it was a battle royale game, and I've never been drawn to this type of game. There's just something about it has never latched on to me. There's just certain genres that appeal to you, and this, for me, is not one of those genres. You know what I mean? So I got apprehensive about wanting to play it, but I was still willing to give it a shot because it's Cyanide Happiness. So I wanted to see, well, maybe they'll tweak it, maybe they'll do their take on it, and it could be great. So Cyanide Happiness, that entire team, Explosive Entertainment, they're involved. Tiny Build was the publisher, and then I should have written this down. Galvanine. I'm sorry.
I should know too, because I think we were gonna play it at one point, but at the time there was no matchmaking with friends or whatever when we were gonna try it.
Galvanine.
Yes.
Something.
I can probably look it up.
Yeah, please do, because I'm butchering the hell out of it. They're the developer of the game outside of Explosum. They're the ones who really are the driving force behind it. Knowing that Explosum was behind it, I was willing to give it a go.
Galvanic.
Thank you. I knew it was Galvan something.
Yeah, there we go. Galvanic.
Sorry, guys, if you're listening. Now, let's look at the game for a minute. If you don't know what it is, the object of the game is very simple with an albeit Cyanide and Happiness flair. And if you've seen the trailer to the game, the launch trailer, it's perfect. It's hilarious. So you are essentially one of the last remaining humans left on Earth. One of the rejects. God is offering a golden ticket to one person to get into heaven, creating kind of a free-for-all battle royale situation, pitting player against player to get that ticket. So you are dropped into this world, this chaotic, apocalyptic world, and you've got to go collect your ammo, you got to go collect your items, whatever you can to survive, and from what I could see, you're pitted against 24 other players. So it's like I guess you and 23 others. So in one area, get out there and try to survive. Kill everybody and be the guy who gets the golden ticket.
Right.
It looks like Cyanide and Happiness. It's got their design, their structure. When you first get in, you get to create your character, which, again, like I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of that. So you actually get to create your own little Cyanide and Happiness avatar, whatever you want to do. And in true fashion, you've got all the crazy aspects you'd imagine. You can be any color you want, from what I could see. You can have any hair color you want, as far as I could see. Your hairstyles go from, anything fancy to simple, and then you even had like one where it goes like over your eyes. Just some weird insanity. I think there was even one where it was like botched hair, like a botched haircut, like he had the mange. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Something like that.
Sounds right.
It sounds right. Sounds like them. They even have, you got voice options, which is one male, one female. Then you also have the ability to add a dong and boobs if you want. Now, you're not seeing them.
And it doesn't matter what sex you are either, right?
You can
add
have
them to wherever
both.
You want, yeah.
That's the other thing. You can be, what is it, a hermaphrodite? I think that's the proper term. So you can have both.
You can have nothing. You can have everything.
Whatever you want. You can do it all.
Right.
Now, granted, you're not seeing these things, but you see bulge through the clothes. So you see you get it. There's a bulge.
And a fun sound effect that goes along with it.
When I added the dong just to see what would happen, and the character went like that. And then you add the boobs, and it's like, ooh, like all prissy and prancy. But if you take them away, I took the boobs away first, and it was like, like
they're so distraught.
Like,
where are they?
You lose the dong, and he's like, So they knew what they were doing when they added these added little humor bits, humoristic bits.
Yeah.
For just little things, it adds a little something. Once you create your character, you can add clothes. Now, in what I would assume is typical battle royale fashion, from what I know of Fortnite, we'll use it as the prime example. You're gonna play the game. You're gonna earn something that will then in turn gain you outfits, because you start with bare minimum. But I think I actually got there was like a bonus outfit, which is like a bloody smock and a hockey mask for I guess being in on it early, maybe for the alpha or whatever. So I earned that, and they that came up on the screen. It was like, hey, you earned this. And I was like, oh, cool. So I've got clothes. Otherwise, you'd be running around in your underwear until you got real clothes.
Yeah.
So
as you do in the Rapture.
As you do. So from what I've noticed in this game, and if I am wrong, it's because I didn't spend hours upon hours upon hours playing it, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you earn tickets while you play, not the golden ticket, but for, I guess, assume however long you can survive, you will earn a certain amount of tickets.
Okay.
And since I didn't play very well, I earned like a ticket at a time. But I think this could have been something that they offered up, as a early access. Like if you're playing early, I had 100 tickets from the start, and I was like, oh, okay. You can use that, and then you trade that in for items, clothes, hats, and whatnot, and other additions you can put on your character. So there's that incentive to go in and play, to earn the tickets, to then in turn get more outfits and stuff like that, to kind of make your character more customizable the way you want it. That being said, I was not good at this game. I sucked at this game. Now, when I've never played these games, so it was new. The control scheme, I'll say this. I'm not dogging the control scheme the way it's set up. I feel like it's just something I personally am just not capable of doing, because I don't play these types of games primarily on PC. If there was a controller involved, I may have been able to manage it more, but the way it was...
Is it controller compatible?
I tried, and my controller didn't seem to take too kindly to it. Like, nah, this is not happening. So I tried customizing my controls as best I could, trying to make it easy. But we're talking about keyboard and mouse playing. That's how you have to do this, because the way it sits is kind of in a diagonal focus. You can actually turn the camera around, because the way everything's kind of set up in a 3D fashion, if someone's hiding behind a tree or a house or something like that, you can shift the camera and then be able to spot them. So, I mean, it's a neat little way to do it, because that would kind of be BS regardless if you couldn't see your character. But you control the character with the keypad, or whether it's your W, A, S, and D, or your up, down, left, right, however you want to manage it. You can customize your controls, your buttons, however you want it. But then you aim and shoot with your mouse pad. So you have to be that kind of gamer. I'm not that kind of gamer. I tried.
So I might have done all right.
You may do a lot better than me, because it's foreign to me. Like, I get it, and I'm sitting here. I have my fingers a certain way, but my brain has not quite figured out where these buttons are on the keypad unless I'm typing. Like, I can type without looking at the screen, but controlling a character...
See, I go straight to the keyboard, and my fingers automatically go to WASD.
Yeah, and so
it's just where I go.
I mean, I would be sitting up here, and again, the way they've got the control scheme set up, it's not bad, because you reload with your F button. You can shift your camera with your E button, and then your numbers up top will use, I think it's 7, 8, and 9. There may have been 6 or 0, either one, I can't remember. But they, like, if you gather up health items, bandages, and things like that, you can use those on the fly.
Okay.
But I couldn't do it. like my brain would always stop and say, where's the F button or where's that button? And I knew where my fingers were, but I would always have to just kind of glance over at it and try to process it. So I was always moving slower. I was always struggling to manage how to play. So that was kind of, I don't know, it was frustrating. It was very, very frustrating because I wanted to make it work. I tried a controller, that didn't work. So I was just like, well, I don't feel like I'm going to be fair on rating this game properly because I'm getting frustrated for my lack of PC gaming, knowledge. But
we'll just have to up your skills.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it really is going to have to come down to because like I said, I died so much. I would probably stay in a game.
And you're probably playing with people who've been there since day one. That's been like
doubt.
hardcore fans. Yeah.
I mean, I stepped into the alpha for a little bit and I messed around with it and I was like, even then I knew, I was like, I don't think this is going to be a game for me. It's just not built for what I want to play. It's just not something I'm into. But the character creation is good. The graphics were great. Now, from a technical standpoint, I did have some lag issues, but I also could attribute that to my own personal internet connection. I mean, I was able to play, but there were times that, my character would kind of lag behind, like I'd be moving and then he'd jump back.
Rubber band a little bit. Yeah.
Time or two I'd see a connection issue where it would just say, hey, your connection's slow or whatever. And I'd be, all right, well, that's my fault. There was one instance, and I don't know if this was something on mine or if this was a bug in the game. So if you're playing it and you've seen this, maybe you can tell me, or maybe you've yet to experience, but if you do, you'll be aware. There was a time that I had just messed around with my character creation, and, I saw that I had a few new items, and I was like, oh, cool. So I put on a hat and stuff like that. Then when I went to play the game and start up a match, I got instantly dropped into a game. Now, keep in mind, there's like a, what would you call it? Kind of like a waiting room, I guess, as they're prepping the match.
Like you're in queue or whatever.
So you'll see your character kind of sitting there, waiting until the time counts down and you drop into the match. I got dropped into a match immediately, and I was not my created character. Like, I was stripped.
I've heard that, actually. I've heard that bug.
So I was like, well, what the hell is this? So, I mean, I continued to play, but it was just like, well, this is kind of weird. So that bug is something I ran into. If you run into it too, there you go. But graphically, it looks fantastic. It's like you're running around in that world. The music, they have really just music in the opening. There's not really music that I can recall while you're playing. So, but the music that's there, I mean, it's decent music. Hopefully you're hearing it right now. If you're not, I couldn't get access to it. So, the weapons and ideas.
Be a surprise.
Yeah. The weapons that they had some pretty interesting stuff because everything is kind of crafted out of handmade items or just random things that you had. Like there was a CD launcher. So you had this gun that just shot CDs at people. You had like a
oh, that's funny.
Pencil sharpener gun or something like that. You shoot pencils at somebody. You got then more, I guess, appropriate things like nail guns and stuff like that. There was also, you can also collect big bomb weapons, I guess would be the best way, or I guess weapons that are meant to attack more than one person. I'd just say a bomb weapon or something like that.
Like area of effect or something like that, AoE stuff.
Yeah, so you get one of those and you can carry it around, and then if you, I guess, got the right skill level, you can drop it into a group, and then boom, you get a whole bunch of them at a time. One that I saw that I really liked, because there was one that was like a guitar, and then there was another that was like I feel like it was like a cryo machine or something like that. I'm having a little trouble remembering what it was, but there was one called the F-bomb.
Nice.
And then you throw it, it hits the ground, and then it just blows up, and I guess you're expecting it to go like, oh, or something like that, which would have been funny, but it was like, F-bomb. Or something.
Actually, I like that better.
Yeah. So it was very subtle, but, you just saw the big cloud, F-bomb. And I was like, all right, that was pretty good. So, and it's very cleverly designed. There's an audience out here for this. Guaranteed.
Right, yeah.
I'm not the negative that you're hearing from me, it's not from saying it's a bad game. It's just not a game for me. If you love
that's fair.
player versus player games, if you love this type of genre, I would recommend going out and playing this
If you
game.
like cyanide and happiness.
Then, I mean, that's a double whammy for you. You're winning on all fronts. But even if that wasn't the case, if this wasn't Cyanide and Happiness, but it was a game just like this, but without their name, I still think that player versus player people would love it. You know, if you enjoy battle royale games, you'll love it. It's a great game. It's just not for me. I don't know how many more times I would actually sit down and play it. I might try it again, maybe try to hone in my skills to try and become that, better PC player, because this is going to be that game that would actually help me do it. Because the skill level needs to be on the high end of things. You need to know how to incorporate your keyboard and your mouse like a pro, like a champ.
Yeah.
I'm just not there. I'm an amateur level PC player. I've got point and click is good enough for me. The only game I played on PC that was not point and click, but I got to use the controller, would have been Cuphead. So there's that. Oh yeah. I didn't have to use the keyboard. I did.
Platformers, you want a controller though.
I did do that early on because I wanted to play it early and I didn't have access to the controller. So I was like, I'm gonna play this and I'll try with the keyboard. And I did all right.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Like, I can't. That's the one area where keyboard and mouse, I'm like, that's too hard. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I did pro. I did so much better with a controller, but I was just like, I could probably do this. But no, I'll just kind of end it there. If again, it's not my game. I can't stand behind it in that aspect. But it's a solid game beyond that. So I think you'll like it. I think given time, they'll patch up some of the bugs that I saw. It's still going to be a fun game. It'll be a popular game. I have no doubt. It's just not for me. So
fair enough. Yeah.
Got to be where I leave it, guys. I'm sorry. But Freakpocalypse, that's what I'm looking forward to.
There you go.
I'm hoping that in the next few weeks we'll actually hear more about it, because I know that they were talking about having episode 1 out by December of this year, but I follow their forum where they talk about it, and they've not been making too many announcements here lately, so they may have shifted a little focus to Rapture Rejects to get it done, and I can understand that, but I was really kind of hoping to see Freakpocalypse by the end of this year, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm not gonna bash them or anything like that. I'm anxious.
Yeah.
I'm anxious. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing against them. I'm just anxious to play the game because I really want to see what they do with that, because it was a lot of fun at PAX. Maybe we'll see them again at PAX. Yeah. Hopefully.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll be there.
Stay tuned, people, for the next couple of months.
For the PAX announcements.
But that's our show. Thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate you. And if you want to support our show, you can go to patreon.com/pencilandpaperproductions or pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com. Click Become a Patron in the top right-hand corner. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. If you rather email us, you can email us at supermegacrash@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram and look at our pretty little pictures. Tell your friends to find us on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcast. I would recommend Podbean because, that's where we're at. But, you do you. Be sure to check out our streams on Twitch, Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, which was yesterday, so hopefully you were there, maybe. We'll see. But anyway.
Or keep tuning in.
Yeah, keep tuning in, please. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
I'm Lacia Finley.
Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash Crew. But until then, game on.
Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.